Shalom, everyone, and blessed be the name of the Lord. Welcome to Glorious Woman Daily. And here, by the grace of God, we are wanting women to become glorious women daily, to become women of faith, for each one of us to become the Eshed child woman of valor, who is a warrior, and to apply godly wisdom in the tiniest details of our lives. Let us allow the Holy Spirit to teach us, and let us learn and grow together. Welcome to our today's learning session that is entitled Tired, Supernaturally Strengthened. I have had enough. Lord, take my life. Words like these are obviously not coming from a person celebrating and enjoying barbecue, too excited for this life. Elijah, in this case, was done. He was done and he couldn't take life anymore. He actually prays that he might die. It must have been tough for him. I feel for him, don't you? Before we address this issue, stress and fear, let's talk more about Elijah. Clearly, we're not the first ones to test the toughness of life, even in our line of ministry. The northern kingdom was blessed to have Elijah, even though in a country, or rather in a region that worshipped Baal, a foreign idol god, they didn't see Elijah as a blessing. The king actually calls him the troubler of Israel for doing what God had called him to do. He had embarked on a journey of defending the worship of the one true God. It wasn't a bother yet because he walked a journey of faith which led him always to the will of God. The Mount Carmel contest, however, led to a turn of events in Elijah's heart, or do we say life, but just for a moment. Elijah, by faith, had just overcome the 450 prophets of Baal. Jezebel, after getting the news, threatens to kill Elijah. Fear takes the better part of him and he runs for his life. Fear is now in control, and at this moment, there is no room for faith. A message from one woman, Jezebel, had disoriented everything. Afraid, Elijah fled for his life. Let's see how 1 Kings chapter 19 puts it. We read from verse 3. Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. When he came to Beersheba in Judah, he left his servant there, while he himself went on a day's journey into the wilderness. He came to a broom bush, sat down under it, and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said, take my life. I am no better than my ancestors. Then he lay down under the bush and fell asleep. Wishing for death is the last thing I would want in my life, and of course I know it is the same as you. And I know by the time someone is wishing for death, life has turned upside down for them. It must have been tough for Elijah. And even for us in this journey life, especially in our respective ministries, we too often believe the devil's lies and fall for them, and soon we drown in fear and stress instead of the truth of the will of God. I have seen people, including myself, almost give up and others completely give up in life because of a threat from the enemy. And you know, Satan's threats come from every corner and every direction. And they can make you drown in fear, uncertainty, stress, and you completely lose your faith and focus. But even at this time, when fear and stress and issues of this life pin you down, there is hope. God is not done with you yet. He knows that you are just human. Look at what happened to Elijah after sleeping, never to wake up again, as per his wishes. 1 Kings 19, 6-7. All at once, an angel touched him and said, get up and eat. He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank, and then lay down again. Verse 7 says, the angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him and said, get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you. He was now strengthened and moved on, and he encountered God. Hello, glorious woman. Every journey of fear is too great for us because at such moments our energy is from the flesh and not from the spirit. We need God, and He is always there to strengthen us and feed us supernaturally. He gives us supernatural strength even when we are extremely tired and overwhelmed. We should also note that fear draws us away from the will of God. So anytime we feel like fear is taking the better part of us, we should pray and call unto God, because He hears and is always there for us every time, every minute, every second. Hashtag God is not done with you yet. Thank you for being with me till the end. If the Lord wills, we'll meet in our next learning session. Always remember to pray and have a passion for God. Shalom, glorious woman daily.